All right, this is the November chat with fans. There was no October chat because I was busy. I'm married now. Uh, yeah, okay, so I'll get to announcements and then I'll answer questions. So let's see. Here, we'll try and keep the chat in sight. So, because sometimes I'll get talking and then realize, oh yeah, it's been 20 minutes. I have no idea what the chat's saying. Let's see. So, yeah. Oh yeah, I am gonna try and have a game session with fans again if I can get hosting. I think I can. Uh, but I don't want to do a Unreal Tournament. I sort of missed out for Halloween stuff, so I want to do Zombie Panic if I can. So I'm gonna try and set up a Zombie Panic game. Maybe have an extra overflow server for that. I'll have the date in the YouTube description when this goes up. Let's see. Yeah, somebody's saying they missed the game footage. You know, it'd be nice, but that's one additional step that has to take place. So it all adds up. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I'm also going to be appearing on a live stream. Tom White from Weird Videogames is going to be doing this 24-hour charity drive. It's for water.org, I believe. It's an organization towards getting clean water. But I mean, I would have joined them for whatever. He's going to have a bunch of guests. That's going to be on November 18th, 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. He's going to be doing it for 24 hours. So I wanted to show up when he'd be a little more. It's going to be going from 8 to 8 from the day before. So I wanted to show up before his brain was fried. And that'll be in the morning my time. So it should work out fine. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing with that. I think he was talking about playing FTL. We're basically just going to be kind of talking about different things and while he plays the games or whatever comes up. So you can join in live for that. I'll probably throw up a video of it afterwards on Accursed Farms Junk for my portion. He's going to be doing it for 24 hours. So yeah, I'll have the dates on that in the YouTube description also. Okay, somebody's saying the volume's very low. Jeez, I hate adjusting it midway. Okay, everybody's saying it's real low. All right, I'll try to fix this in editing. So let's see. Okay, how's the volume now? Is it a little bit better? Okay, yeah, multiple people are piling on saying low. Well, I'll adjust it in editing. Yeah, somebody's saying much better. Well, hopefully I don't clip now if I get loud, but I didn't have time to set it up better. So yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, I probably fixed it before you even got to this. So yeah, doing the charity thing with Tom. I'll be on the 18th, and again, 2 a.m. in the morning. So I can understand if a lot of people don't show up for that. But what? Oh yeah, and for this month, okay, I have my plans right now for the foreseeable future is just do Freeman's Mind and figure out all the other side stuff for the time gaps I have in between that. And just keep that up until I go crazy and feel like I need to do another game dungeon. I'm not even sure there's going to be a Christmas episode this year. I'm sort of running low on Christmas games. I mean, there are some games I could pick, but ones that are kind of worth making an episode on. I mean, the only one that came to mind was sort of Fahrenheit, but I don't know. That's a relatively well-known game, and that one would take some time to make. Some games I could kind of run through a lot faster. Maybe I can find something for Commodore 64 or something that could be that's notable enough that I can make an episode out of it. I'll see. Some people are saying The Grinch for PlayStation 1. I don't know. See, it has to be. I don't know. It has to be have a game that has something worth talking about for me, or just somebody's mentioning Holiday Lemmings. Well, maybe. I mean, Holiday Lemmings, I figure, is kind of like, Jazz Jackrabbit, Holiday Hare. It's just sort of the same thing, just in Christmas. Okay. Let's see. Let's mention Parasite Eve 1, which I haven't played through. I've That's one of those I've been always getting around, been always meaning to get around to playing, but never have for Parasite Eve. Okay, I think that's it for announcements. Well, I have a couple other smaller ones that I intentionally wanted to bury so that the entire audience doesn't hear in the first 5 minutes, just because I don't want too many replies. so sometimes I do that with the video game sessions. I'll mention something I don't want 500 replies on. Okay, everybody's talking about the Christmas games. All right, so let me get to the actual questions now that people submitted on Reddit here. I'll get to those and I'll go to live chat. Or rather, once I get down to the low vote ones, I tend to just sort of pick and choose. And then, well, that's interesting. Okay, yeah. I thought for a second Windows was flat out refusing to respond to the drag command. All right, so the first question that got the most votes. Although this vote system is weird because they have sorted by best, which is the default, and then sometimes questions that have less points get above ones below it. So I have no idea how that works, but we'll just go with it. What episodes of the Game Dungeon would you consider to be the best and the worst in your own view? Well, the worst, I don't know, those might have been those ones I sort of cut corners more on, with Legend of Kyrandia and the ski game. What was it? Freak Out Extreme Freeride or something? Just because this didn't have as much of the spark I'm looking for. I like it. Some of my favorite are ones where there's a real reason I'm picking this game. You know, that... So those might have been the worst. Also, they're both... I have real mixed feelings about the Battleforge and Darkspore episodes because on one hand, I did really want to cover that, but on the other hand, I didn't want it to get as like kind of dark and dramatic as it did. So my goal for Game Dungeon is you at least for future episodes, or well, no, it's always sort of been my goal is that when you go to watch Game Dungeon, you're hopefully gonna have a good time watching it. And I feel like those kind of took away from that because of the subject matter. So, but I mean, I still want to do more regarding that topic, but not have it spill over into Game Dungeon. And okay, somebody liked parts of Kyrandia, so that's good. Let's see. For best ones, just for the game that's being covered, I think it's kind of hard to top Bip-Bop too. You know, just because it's kind of going into unexplored territory with that one. After that, it's sort of just, I don't really have best ones so much as just kind of top tier in my mind. Like, Mabu's turned out pretty well. The Chosen turned out quite... Man, The Chosen I thought was going to be a lot shorter, but there just ended up being so many things I had to talk about. It's a case where like a bad game can actually make a better episode. Let's see. Realms of the Haunting actually turned out pretty well, and that's one I was kind of taking a gamble on because I hadn't played it. I just decided, you know what? It looks creepy from the get-go. A lot of people have talked about this before. I'm just going to go in and make the episode on it, and it ended up not being quite as Halloweenish as I hoped for, but it was still a good game. Let's see. Yeah, somebody's saying their favorite is Polaris Snowcross. That's another pretty solid one. Boy, that one's amazing. I got done in time because that was right in between the Freeman crunch. So yeah, Bip-Bop 2's again, it's hard for me to pick like an obvious best or worst one, but okay. Recently in Game Dungeon, you mentioned your life as a teenager. What was your personality like as a teenager? What would you say the biggest difference is between then and now? Anyone also want to know my opinion on Walking Dead since I played through the first season. Let's see. So yeah, I guess the difference between me now as a teenager, I don't know. I just more wisdom, I guess, having a better understanding of how things work. Personality is pretty similar, I'd say. I mean, I guess less awkward too. And so if you consider my general awkwardness level, you can amplify that for being a teenager. Uh, oh yeah, somebody's saying the Helios one was real good. Yeah, Deus Ex one is another one I have mixed feelings about because I liked it, but at the same time, it's kind of getting less fun than some of the other episodes. That I'd really like to go for fun episodes. But those are the two big differences. It's kind of surprising. Like I was kind of expecting my personality to kind of shift more than it has, and I don't know, not really. It's been pretty consistent overall over the years, but let's see, oh yeah, for Walking Dead, I mean, again, I thought the formula was pretty good in the sense that it cuts through the just complete nonsensical puzzles, but at the same time, they might have gone too far in that direction where, it's all. Walking Dead is almost it's bordering on that level of interactive movie, which I don't mind if it's an enjoyable movie or story or everything, but I can see where there be some gameplay gripes against that. I think my biggest issue with Walking Dead, which is maybe it's the whole point. So maybe they're again I haven't read the comics, so that puts me at a disadvantage. But it's like the game, especially more so than the show. Even it's like they were trying to milk the drama out of it. And it's like, geez, some of it I get, but it's like I'd rather see a little more paced. Where I mean, I like the in between stuff where just like preparing for the zombies or the bandits or what are we gonna do now? We need to find supplies. I like that kind of mix of everything. So actually, I'm fine without the drama. Actually, so if it's just terrifying zombies and what we do in between the terrifying zombie encounters, that'd be great for me. But Walking Dead games make it very clear that they want their drama in there. Like they are not holding back, and I don't know. It's not quite my thing as much. Okay, what was the transition like moving to Poland altogether? I'm interested in the whole experience from someone native to the USA. Well, it was a lot of paperwork. Look, I wouldn't have made it if I mean in the long term. Uh, if Magda, my wife now, had a friend who was an attorney who helped with just the legal documents and just going to what felt like 12 different offices and multiple visits to them. It's just an incredible amount of paperwork. And during that time, I was still I still had money left over from when I had the higher rate at Machinima. So that ended up being quite helpful to get here. I saw a description once in an article, I think it might have been on Cracked, which they were saying, money, it's the sort of thing, it's almost like a power-up in a racing game where you need that boost to get over the jump. And that's kind of how it is when you're going through like fees and other costs that you weren't aware of. But yeah, I mean, it was an experience because, yeah, I basically got rid of my entire disc collection of CDs and DVDs. I think I just left it with one of my friends. I just made ISO images of everything and put them on hard drives just to cut down the space because I was just basically moving. And I pretty much took everything with me that I could fit it like on my person, a backpack, and 2 suitcases. So, I did bring my computer, but I got rid of the computer case, just sort of packed up like the motherboard and the hard drives because there weren't weight restrictions on the plane itself. The hard drives together would kind of have some bulk to them. And, every ounce counts when you're going to the airport. So I ended up carrying those on my person, like in a jacket with a bunch of pockets, cargo pants. And, I wrapped them up in padding, everything. So I was basically walking onto the plane holding like 10 hard drives or something like that because the weight could kind of work in my favor more. And I think they even have restrictions. I've heard this consolidation now about the different airlines so that they can get away with more stuff. Like, whereas if it was a more competitive market, they wouldn't be able to do that. I think now if you were to go on the plane, they charge you based on like what you're carrying with you, and they didn't when or maybe they. Oh yeah, sorry, they did for the carry-on, but not the on your person. Which I feel like, to be fair, they should maybe do that, because then it might give you some incentive to kind of get more fit and kind of lose some weight so you can carry more stuff with you. Because that's not even that discriminatory. It's just gravity. The more weight you're bringing on, the more fuel you're burning to bring the plane. But let's see. Yeah, once I got here, I remember my first thoughts were it kind of felt like an alternate universe, where things are a little different but not that different, or like in science fiction stories, if you go back in time and they change a couple things and then they come back to the future, it's like, well, things are definitely different, but they're not completely different. So I remember there are definitely pros and cons to compared to USA, and it kind of, from my perspective, it kind of feels like USA is getting kind of crazier as time goes on. Because like shortly after I arrived, they were doing they were talking about government shutdowns, and it's, I don't know. There's plenty of crazy to go around. So oh yeah, there were a few. Yeah, one example of culture shock for me was when I came and I went to malls and things. In the different stores, I was expecting to maybe hear Polish or European music. No, it's all the same top 10, top 20 stuff from USA. So I thought I was going to be able to escape that. I mean, because, some songs, they're okay, but then you hear them a million times and they're certainly no longer okay. So it's, let's see. Oh yeah, and I remember having to adapt pretty quick for like getting ample supplies of water, because in USA you go to a restaurant or anything, they give you a glass of water just like it's nothing, or it's free at fast food places. That's not the case at all here. And in fact, when you do get water, it's like a little bottle. And I'd actually, ever since living in Louisiana, I got in the habit of just drinking lots of water, because Louisiana, that I mean, what, you're gonna die if you don't do it there during the summer. But it's so I had to adapt to that to find like sources where I could get it more economically, that sort of thing. Okay, next question? Did you dress up? Oh no, see, I skipped one. I gotta be careful. All right. Yeah, this is what happens, especially questions towards the beginning. I just skip them by accident. How do you feel about silent protagonist? I can go either way with it. Doesn't really matter. I'd rather have a silent protagonist than one I hate. For me, I guess my favorite silent protagonist would be the GTA 3 guy. He never says that. In fact, I thought that was kind of I thought that was kind of bad that they call attention to it later in the series by calling him a mute, because I like the idea of him just kind of never saying anything, like you just never knew. He was my favorite because he speaks through his actions, not through his words. Yeah, everybody's saying Claude. Was he named Claude in GTA 3, or was that like a retroactive thing they said? Yeah, okay, so everybody's saying Claude. Was that his name? Did they ever mention his name in GTA 3? Okay, somebody's saying yes. Okay, somebody's saying retroactive, so maybe not. But yeah, because he'd walk in the cutscenes, he would just sort of nod, be like, okay, all right, and then next thing you know, he's like shooting up a fire truck or something, and it explodes, and the cops are after him. He's just hauling I love the contrast between this seemingly chill guy versus just no limit to what he's gonna do. So, all right, so let's see. Did you dress up for Halloween? No, I did not, and I fell into the trap I always try to avoid, where I was working right up to the minute finishing the Black Mirror. In fact, I even had to miss some of the trick-or-treaters because of that. I hate that. I was on target, and then YouTube demonetized the videos, and that hit me. I mean, I think it's mostly recovered, but that was like such a slap in the face. Like I felt like I had to make a video on it, and that kind of threw everything off. So if I hadn't done that, then I might have been on time with everything. Yeah, because after the wedding, the day after the wedding, I got pretty sick. Yeah, in fact, that would have been when the video chat would have been. I actually lost my voice for like the first day. It was just incredibly sore to talk. And then after that, I was pretty sick for about a week, and even then, it just kind of lingered on after that. So, but yeah, I didn't dress up at all. I was just, I did finish before midnight my time Halloween. In fact, you may notice in the Black Mirror episode, there's an editing glitch where I show the wolf clip kind of looped twice. I knew that was there. I had already fixed another mistake I made, and I thought I fixed that when I did the re-render, but I didn't. And it would have just taken another 2 or 3 hours to get that up on time. I was just like, screw it. It's a Halloween episode. It's not that big a bug. I'm just going to go with it. So now, I'm going to, for the archive copy, I'm going to fix that. But that can happen sometimes when I make these videos where I have to make a judgment call as to how big a bug this is that I wanted, or a mistake that I want to do a re-render, which that takes time, and then I have to do the encoding, which also takes time, and then upload it. You know, if I could find okay, maybe somebody knows the answer to this. Like before I encode the videos, I save them in lossless AVI just to like maximize the quality until the very last step. I mean, I compress it to H.264 before I upload to YouTube, but that way it's only like just that level of compression. Everything else, it's like as you see it, so it's as clean an image as possible. When I save it to AVI, in the past I would split that stuff up with virtual dub and save chunks of it. So if I could do that, that would be fine. I use the codec RGB UT video codec, I think is the one. That one tends to behave well. So if I could just go in if I could just split up the clip and just go to that wolf section, re-render that, then mux it all together, that'd be fine. But it seems like every time I try to do that now, Virtual Dub complains that the stream is different from the bit depth or something, and it's just. So if there's a reliable AVI merging program that won't give me that crap and won't cause problems like the video to glitch out or change the length so that the sound doesn't sync up anymore, that's like really reliable. I mean, it's all the same codec. I would think that it wouldn't matter, and it's lossless. So I wouldn't think I'd be splitting in between keyframes, but who knows? So yeah, sorry to deviate in the technical talk, but maybe somebody knows the answer to that. Okay, maybe now since I'm a little ways in, I'll give my other two announcements quick. Yeah, if anybody has recommendations for a chair to sit in, mine is falling apart. Like here, like you can see there's cracks in the armrest. What I'm sitting on, the cushioning's coming out, so it's I don't know. The thing is, I don't want. That's one of those things where it's like you almost have to try it out, because if you go by recommendations or something online, then it arrives, then you're stuck with that. But I want something durable. I mean, it's like, geez, are there any gaming chairs that are durable, like 10 years guaranteed or something like that are comfortable? Because I kind of like, being able to sit upright normally, but then if I'm watching a movie, maybe kind of lean back. Just something that can do that. That's all I'm looking for. That doesn't even need to rotate almost. So, yeah, somebody's saying these DX Racer. I have no idea about those, because one thing I hate, even this is in car seats, is where they kind of push your head forward because they're trying to overcompensate for whiplash. That's like the most uncomfortable thing in the world to me. So anything that doesn't do that. I guess. So maybe if I see a correlation on the recommendations, or somebody who gives me like this long story about his quest for the right chair, maybe if I get some like those, then people can tell me like what they'd recommend for a chair. Because this thing is just barely, it's falling apart. I've had it maybe 2 or 3 years or something. And it's not like I'm doing, you know, body slams onto it. I don't like jump into it, the chair or something like that. But yeah, comfort and durability, you know, that's something that could really last a long time. Okay, that was one announcement, and the other announcement is I'm almost certainly going to take a while to get back to you because I'm really going to try and get ahead on emails this month, even though I've said that before and it didn't work out. But I'm really gonna try this month. If there are any volunteers who want to help me with the basically make with this kind of giant sort of games to check out list I'm making, that when the new website launches, I hope to have that at some point on there. It's basically just going to be this giant list of games that have caught my attention one way or another, that most of which I haven't played through. So some of this will be data archiving, but another thing will be to go through these lists and just find a screenshot to go with it. So that way when you browse it on the site later, you can real easily get an idea quick for what kind of game it is. That would be helpful. So yeah, if you're willing to look through just a giant list of games to pick out like the best screenshot to go with it, and then do some data entry and stuff like that, you can send me an email, rustybsky@gmail.com, and at some point I'll get back to you. So, all right, I don't want to emphasize that too much, otherwise I'll get 80 volunteers. All right, so the next question. Okay, I may do veto power on this one. It says, "How did you propose to your wife?" It's not very romantic. In fact, it's just kind of okay to get your mind thinking about this. Neither of us proposed, really. Okay, so I'll just let you use your imagination on that for the rest of it. It's not that anything interesting you're missing out. Ross, let's hear some caveman Polish. All right, well, the easiest for me is to do foods. So just, you know, nouns and verbs are kind of what I mean by caveman Polish. So let's see, foods. Cebula, paprika, marchewka, pomidor. Let's see, where's some others? Oh, jagodowa. Let's see, lish, macaron. And let me think of some more veg. Oh yeah, kurczak, kukurica. I think ogorki. Let's see. Here, list some foods in the chat. We'll see how many I can do. I'm pretty good with food. Yeah, zupi. Let's see. There's gonna be a delay for the chat coming in. Try. But oh yeah, potatoes, ziemniaki, eggplant. I don't know. Okay, pizza I think is the same. Spaghetti I already did. Cats is kot. I don't remember the plural. Eggs, yaika. People I don't really remember on the spot. You know, someone's doing this live. My memory isn't always the best, but hot dogs I don't know. It actually might be hot dog. Cabbage is kapusta. And sauerkraut's kapusta kishona. Tater tots I don't know. However, Plotsky taste extremely similar to tater tots. Radishes, do I remember? If you lock me in a room long enough, I'd probably remember radishes, but I forgot. Tomato I did, that's pomodoro. Bananas is banan, although it's tricky because pineapple is ananas. Or ananas, I think. Okay, let's see. Strawberries is, oh, come on. How am I forgetting strawberries? Yeah, truskawki, I think. Watermelon, I don't know. Here's carrot is marchewka. Squid, do I know? I know shrimp. That's krevetki. Okay, well. Yeah, pineapples and us. Bread is chleb. Beans, fasola. Okay, well that's enough for now. But yeah, maybe I should try getting more in the habit of doing this. But yeah, if you want complete sentences, there's very few I know. So, all right. Yeah, I'll answer more questions at the end for the chat. Let's see. Okay, in Game Dungeon, you don't start giving game awards until quarantine. What awards will you give to the games before that episode? I predict Tyrion will get all-time favorite, and Test Drive 3 will get Fatal Flaw. Tyrion would get all-time favorite. Test Drive 3 no, it's not Fatal Flaw because there's too many. I mean, the steering is a big flaw, but then there's also the frame rate is rough for a driving game. I mean, yeah, they were probably doing the best they could at the time, but they, you know, back then they could see that CPUs were getting faster and faster. They could have kind of future-proofed it a little bit. And then there's also that message that just keeps coming up when you drive off course. So I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I actually kind of want to. This may not happen, especially if fans really want it. But what? I kind of don't want to have to do like 3 awards for every episode. It's only ones that just really stand out. Like again, one of my favorites in that regard is The Chosen. You know, Flaming Wing on Flaming Wings. Yeah, people are talking about the favorite episode. The Chosen has my favorite ending. You know, we will. I will not fall. I will triumph. Or something. And then I come in with the dramatic Dungeon Lords music. So that was, yeah, The Chosen is my favorite ending. But I don't know. I'd have to think about. Let's see. What are there any that jump out at me? I think I'd have to give something to Polaris Snowcross for the AI because that. You know. I saw a thread before where people were talking about like what are the hardest games, and I saw one person saying take any racing game and put the difficulty on hard. It's all of them. So, but with that one, it's like I wasn't trying to play on hard. I wasn't even trying to win. I just wanted to see the tracks, and no, it is locked off. So that's pretty special. Sometimes when a game does something I've never seen anywhere else, that's usually a good sign for an award. I mean, not always, but okay. Again, this is towards the top of the questions. This is exactly why I have the voting. Do you put your hair in a ponytail? No, I don't usually. I don't like how I look. And if I don't like how I look, I may as well just cut my hair. So. You said in Rama that one of your favorite games is Super Metroid. Have you also played any of the Metroid Prime games? No, I haven't. I've played very few kind of post Nintendo 64 Nintendo games. That's because I didn't have the systems. And also I think they've changed this now with the Wii re-release. Like, I think you can use the Wii controller on it or something. Because I can maybe do that, but for first-person shooters with a gamepad, I am worthless. Like, it would just, one, I'm not going to like it, and two, I'm going to be terrible at it. However, if they had the Wii controller so I could just kind of go like this to aim, I haven't done it, but I could see that working much better for me. So if I ever get around to playing it, it's going to have to be either through emulation, through a mouse, or again, some sort of motion controller, because just not through a gamepad. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's not just that I'm bad at it. It's that I also don't like it. I find it frustrating because I'm used to drastically better efficiency. So, I mean, for aiming. All right. You mentioned Hunter S. Thompson and the Black Mirror game Dungeon. Did you draw any inspiration from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas when you came up with Freeman's personality? It's possible. I mean, I've been friends with a couple people who have been drug users. I'm not, but so I took a little bit from them, and of course they all love Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I actually haven't. I've seen the movie, but I haven't read it. I've read Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail, 76. But yeah, I just came up with that because I was thinking, because he was thinking, who would want to take their life in the autumn of their, who would want to kill themselves in the autumn of their life? And I was trying to think of like somebody famous who had done that. That was who came to mind. So like, yeah, let's go with it. That's one thing I enjoy about a lot of my videos is that I don't always have to explain myself, or you know what, I'll just take you on my crazy train of thought without the context, and we'll just see where it goes. Not completely, but just kind of insert it here and there. So I like not having boundaries or explanations on that. I mean, I don't want to do too much of that, but to spice it up a little bit. Besides Freeman, what other character's mind would you like to narrate? Okay, this is disappointing, but none. I'd rather just make kind of more original videos, have characters and that sort of thing. I guess if I had to, I don't know, it'd probably be more of the GTA 3. Okay, Claude. He might be interesting. Well, I guess. Well, the Doom guy's mind, that was kind of rough on my throat, but that was certainly, it added to the personality. Because I figured, you know what, when I did Doom guy's mind, I was thinking, you know what, Freeman already gets kind of crazy. That means I gotta make this even more. I gotta turn up the volume even more to distinguish him from Freeman, so it doesn't just feel like Freeman and Doom. So I think I was able to do that pretty successfully. Try to distinguish the two personalities. Okay, two easy ones. We'll see. How long do you think you'd be able to realistically survive in a Black Mesa situation? And what would you do to survive? Okay, well, I guess until I'm being shot at. I mean, because, okay, except for the superhuman stuff, or the real questionable things, like Freeman, like the fan room, I always felt like, geez, would that really work? Would somebody survive that? Or things where the fall may not kill you, but would obviously break your legs. For all the climbing and running and endurance stuff, I think I could handle all that, all the Freeman goes through, if you look at Black Mesa as just a pure obstacle course and you're able to dodge the deadly stuff, I think I could handle it. But again, except for stuff where, it obviously break your legs, or no normal person is going to be able to survive that. I mean, geez. Yeah, I'm thinking when the soldiers show up, that'd be really bad because, I mean, yeah, I guess I could try to fight back, but it's not like I have anything resembling. The most combat experience I have is a couple rounds of paintball. So I am not going to, they're going to certainly be much better than me and probably kill me at that point. So, I don't know. I think anything and the aliens, they're basically kind of zapping. I would have much less hesitation about killing them too, and they seem less intelligent or well, they're at least less tactically intelligent than the military in Black Mesa. So I could maybe survive them. Probably not the shark though. The shark could probably get me because I mean I'm just a normal swimmer. So. Yeah, so I think the soldiers is where they'd really get me, if it was me. Let's see, or geez, that elevator jump. Well, okay, no, if I had to do the elevator jump, I would not do the elevator jump. I would go back and find enough wreckage or something to either make my own makeshift grapple hook or build my own little platform or something where it's just not just a hair-thin margin of whether you're going to die or not. So, yeah, that's why I made the April Fool's episode, is because I thought, you know what, this is such a narrow margin for things. All right. Yeah. What's the other question? In terms of movie making, which software do you think would be the best for animation and scenery? I'm writing my own story and I'm thinking about turning it into my own movie. Uh, okay, for well, it depends on how you want to do it. Because if it's with 2D, that's a whole separate suite of software, which I don't have much experience with. If you just wanted to try and do something like 3D, it's it's been a while since I've looked at it. You might want to give, I think, iClone a shot. I mean, yeah, you're not going to have something that looks that great, but I've seen people do some halfway decent results on it. I've heard, okay, this is years out of date, but in the past, people have also used Movie Storm, but that one might be getting more and more dated. I'm not sure. But I think iClone, they kind of kept up with it. So that's sort of the kind of middle ground between having flexibility to animate characters versus not having to do it all yourself, having props you can already work with, having some characters you can kind of manipulate, make them look like something. So that might be where you want to go with that. But I mean, obviously, if you're going for Pixar quality, you should disregard all of that. But yeah, those would be good starting points, I'd say. What is the best piece of classical music to have a brutal and bloody fight take place to? Well, there's that one that's been overused just to hell and back. I don't even remember the name of it. I'm sure I'll recognize it if somebody types in the chat, and there probably will. Let me think. I haven't listened extensively to classical music because it's like all the best stuff has just been overused for the most part. And okay, somebody's saying Hall of the Mountain King. That one's that's like the Peer Gynt, isn't it? Hall of the Mountain King. Yeah, that's one that can maybe come up. What's somebody saying? Chopin Nocturne. Okay, yeah. Somebody answered that. Somebody has the best one. If just because of yes, O Fortuna is the one I was thinking of. But yeah, I think somebody has the answer here. Flight of the Valkyries. If just because I think if you've seen Apocalypse Now, that's probably solidified in your head. Oh, I know. Okay, I know. This would be a different tone, but I think I'd have to say I can't erase it from my memory. I don't know the name of it, but if you've seen the trailer to the original Team Fortress, like not Team Fortress 2, but original, that trailer is fantastic, and they're using this kind of classical kind of choir, peppy music there. In fact, I'm pretty sure I used that in the Human Revolution episode where he's just beating the crap out of people. Yeah, so I think Flight of the Valkyries is the best one for just standard answer, but just because it has the Apocalypse Now association. You seem to like gothic building design. Are there any games like Black Mirror that have awesome dark level design? Oh, jeez. Okay, well, I don't know. Okay, this is a little fresher in my memory because I played a few months back. I wouldn't say it's the best or anything, but the expansion to Oblivion, what was it, Shivering Isles, one of the cities, they have kind of, you're seeing a little bit of that weird gothic influence. Let's see, what are games? Maybe people have stuff in the chat that I'll remember. Okay, yeah, Painkiller definitely has that gothic dark level design going on and for some of them. Thief I'm less familiar with, but I imagine it does have it. Because again, you like stuff where you see like the faces everywhere and the little extra stuff. Again, I haven't played the Dark Souls series, so I'll just have to take your word for it. Let's see. Somebody's saying, see, this is how chat works. See, somebody's saying Serious Sam is better than Painkiller. Well, not for Gothic architecture, it's not. So it's already mutated. Oh, Quake. Well, yeah, I guess there's that. But I don't know. there's it's probably going to be like an indie game that I'm forgetting about or have less familiar with because, well, okay, it's all a top-down view, and I still need to play more of it. But what the Sunless Sea certainly has some of that going on. But oh yeah, Legacy of Kain. Yeah, some of the later Legacy. Yeah, Blood Omen 2. That that one definitely has some. It has some sci-fi stuff going on also. But I think they recycled content they were planning to use in Check on the Forever Man, something like that. See, somebody saying the Gothic series, not really, not this real exotic stuff. Yeah, Hexen's another decent, intriguing. Yeah, Castlevania. Well, yeah, Castlevania series in general. Yeah, now we're getting some good entries. Shadow Man, Clive Barker's Undying. Oh yeah, Clive Barker's Undying definitely has this. Clive Barker's Undying is sort of like the ultimate haunted house. Okay, well that's enough for now. I should keep moving on the answers. Okay. Okay, well, this one's interesting. Okay, he's quoting me from the first episode of Game Dungeon. The only reason not to play Tyrion is if you don't like fast-paced action games, prefer slower, more dialogue-based games. If that's the case, you get a pass. For now, I'll come back to you later. It's been 4 years since then. Have you thought of a reason why those people should play Tyrion in that time? No, you misunderstood. When I'm saying I'll come back to you later, that means I'll come back with games that you should play. If you don't like fast-paced action games, you don't like them. I mean, why convince somebody to play a game or a movie or whatever that they know they're not going to like? I mean, it could be a good movie if you're a fan of that, but no. So I mean, since then I've had Puzzle Agent, or yeah, recently Black Mirror or Still Life. I mean, so those you don't need the arcade skills, and other stuff like Eternum and things like that. But yeah, I mean, Black Mirror is close to one of my all-time favorites. So. And it's, in terms of gameplay for that genre, Still Life also. Yeah, again, this is another one why I have the voting system. I don't mind repeating questions if people people need to keep hearing the answers. Now that Secret World has been relaunched and become a free-to-play game along with a major revamp of combat, will you come back to do a re-review of it? I don't know about a full re-review, but I absolutely want to play more of it again, and hopefully get through the desert and Romania. Yeah, they added all the DLCs. They added all the story-based DLC, so now I really want to play it. What I'll probably do is once I do that, I'll cover it in like the next follow-up episode that covers it. So let's see. In the last massive GOG sale, Clint of Lazy Game Reviews got to pick several games he liked to go on sale together in a bundle. If you were given the opportunity, excluding games you reviewed on the Game Dungeon, which DRM-free good old games, or hell, any games, would you put together in a bundle to go on sale for chump change? I'm not really sure how to answer that because it's like, okay. I have a very obvious answer for me. The Legacy of Kain series. Because, boy, those connect to each other. If there are any games that just kind of connect to the other, those do. Because there's, Blood Omen, then Soul Reaver, then kind of Blood Omen 2 squeezed in there, then Soul Reaver 2 and Defiance. And you don't really appreciate the later ones unless you've seen what was come before it with the story. So those are ones that obviously go together. Other than that, it's just sort of, pick which games you like to go together. Maybe you want a strategy theme thing, or maybe you want a sampler pack or something. I will say, okay, I may as well mention this. This will become dated immediately, but yeah, I put this on Twitter. They had gray goo for a minimum of $1, which just blew my mind because that's an RTS that had basically AAA production quality. And for that to go to as low as $1 in 2 years just blew my mind. Because I mean, yeah, you see indie games sometimes get that low. I mean, I guess technically it is an indie game, but I mean the production value is just so much higher than what you would. Because I mean, there's games that are 20 years old now that are selling for more than that. So, okay, I'm getting off top. I should keep moving on here. Given your employment record, have you ever looked into teaching English abroad prior to fan support taking off? Looks like a less hellish option compared to some of the others you mentioned. No, because I think local pay in Poland probably wouldn't be enough to cover us for that. I mean, what would I think we'd have to look at moving or, geez, what else? What are other options? Yeah, I guess moving to something where I mean, I'm going to look at this. Even, okay, if there was no fan support at all, I would probably make about as much, or just from YouTube, I mean just from YouTube revenue, than I would trying to work locally. That's one of the bad things about Poland. I mean, I'm lucky in the sense that I can kind of squeeze in between the cracks there. But I've heard this saying about Poland before that, it's Western Europe prices with Eastern Europe wages. And while things like food and like essentials are priced appropriately for Polish wages, a lot of other things aren't. So it can be, I want to, okay, maybe somebody can fact check. I want to say it's something ridiculous, like a third of all youth or the youth of Poland end up immigrating out of Poland to other countries, like UK or Ireland or something, just where they can earn more money and just send it back or bring it home or something. So it's kind of it's from my perspective, it looks a little bit like kind of race to the bottom kind of wages situation, which I think is pretty bad. But that was a huge advantage I had of being able to work online. I'll probably look into learning things online more aggressive, or trying to find other ways I could try to earn money online more aggressively if that kind of implode. But for now, I'm just going to keep making more videos. Okay. And the Valve News Network's video on YouTube demonetization. Oh yeah, I need to watch his. Tyler McVicker said, or at least implied, that you and him are close friends. Is this true? I know you did an interview with him, but I never got the feeling you and him were friends, just acquaintances. I'd say I'm online friends with Tyler. Like, I never met him in person, but like if he lived like across the street, I'm sure we'd hang out and do stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I got along. I mean, Tyler originally contacted me kind of related to Freeman's Mind stuff, but I got along with him pretty quickly. So that strikes me as a good guy. So, will we see a picture of you when you have your marriage? Well, as I told Magda that, well, maybe we could get a solo picture of me because there are several photos. But I told Magda she is head of security regarding what photos of her are released to the public. Kind of like a CIA director. It's ultimately her call. So if she doesn't want anything being shown, it's not going to get shown. That said, she said it was okay to mention this. On her Twitter, she recently took a photo of herself around Halloween. Her Twitter's Amazing Magda. So if you want to see a picture of what my wife looks like, it's up there. Other than that, maybe there'll be more photos, maybe there won't. That's her call. Because I don't want her to be uncomfortable with anything that's being shown. What's the best ghost or alien story that you've heard? Well, honestly, Helios might be the best alien one I've heard. The one in that episode. Okay, Someone's saying that, have you spotted the ring in my hand? Yeah, here it is. It's kind of a, we can't really see. It's kind of a hammered metal look to it, even though it's too blurry on the camera. I don't know if I really know much in the way of good ghost stories. I guess for movies, I've seen probably one of the best for aliens, or my favorite would be Fire in the Sky. That one's pretty decent. I don't know that many. Yeah, I'll talk more. I didn't get to do it this year, but one year I still want to do like sort of my top 10 kind of underrated scary movies. And I'll definitely bring up Aliens and that. I mean, not Ghost. I'll definitely bring that up. And that, because one of them is a ghost thing, but I don't want to give it away. If you could only have one weapon, item, vehicle, power armor, other object from a video game in real life, what would you equip yourself with and why? Oh, wow. That's a good question. Wow. I got to think about that first. Okay, I'm gonna browse the chat while I'm thinking about that. Because I guess you want something really useful, I think, from a video game. Okay, maybe people have some suggestions in the chat. Because I don't think I get a weapon. I mean, unless I need to defend Earth from aliens, I don't really have much use for a crazy weapon. But, they're mentioning vehicle, armor, other object. That there's got to be some real useful stuff in there. I want to say, yeah, portal gun, yeah, maybe, but you're still limited by range. I think I would want to go even crazier with dimensional portal stuff. Jump shot, they're saying in the chat. Yeah, I mean, portal guns. Okay, medic's metagun. That could be like humanity changing. That one's pretty good. I don't know. Okay, are there any objects that just let you go to different? Oh, yeah, because in Realms of the Haunting they had those objects, but then those needed to be aligned with the right portals in order to go to the cross-dimensional stuff. I'm trying. What will let me see the universe? That's what I'm trying to think. Like really get out there. Yeah, we need a. Yeah, so far I think the medic's gun's probably one of the best. Man, this is one of those where I know I'm going to think of a better answer later. I kind of want to linger here just a little bit longer for the next question. Okay. Okay. Here's my placeholder answer. All right. Hoverboard from Trick Style. Because that'd be sick. That's my placeholder answer, but I think we can do better. So I'll try and just kind of go back and forth between the chat here, or a little bit, to see if anybody lists something better. And I'll keep moving on to the questions in the meantime. Let's see. What advice do you have, especially technical advice, for someone trying to make their own series similar to Ross's Game Dungeon? The number one thing I would say, to Game Dungeon. Okay, I thought it was going to be Freeman's Mind. Well, let's see. Okay, try to look at. Okay, he's saying especially technical advice. Well, I'd say what's more important than technical advice is figure out like what your hook is for trying to get somebody to watch it. Now there's too many answers. Okay. Oh, somebody's a Gmod tool gun. That'll be pretty good. Okay, that's another good answer. Okay, so before technical advice, figure out what your hook is. Like, why should people watch it? Because some things like Game Dungeon, they're more informative. Like, hey, there's stuff with better production value than mine. Like my cameo on the Ahoy games, he clearly has more professional editing and everything than I do. But I'm more likely to verge off into tangential topics. There are people who I think are overall funnier than me. Like, was it the video game Donkey? guy. I think on average he's funnier than I am. But so I think my kind of hook is I'm willing to get into weird stuff, just talk about other things, make odd connections, just kind of go anywhere with it. Which most game shows are going to be more structured than what I'm doing. So kind of figure out, try to put yourself in from the perspective of a viewer, and think like, okay, why would I watch this? You know, just pretend like you're somebody like at a bus stop or something. Like get out of your own mind for a minute and like try and figure out what they would want to watch it. And if you have like oh, this is just like real pleasant to watch, or this is real informative and interesting, so start with that. And then beyond that, from a technical standpoint, if you're doing old games, this isn't as critical. But if you're doing newer games, I would highly recommend. I mean, like 1080 resolution, I would highly recommend getting an SSD. If there's one upgrade I've done that's really made a difference in my video editing, it's the SSD, because you can access data so much faster, and that really makes a tangible difference as far as production time compared to like any other part. Yeah, I guess just try to have, just general editing stuff, know the software, have ways of recording things. For older games, you might want to, okay, I guess try and preserve the color. Man, that is weird. Oh, I see. Somebody, okay, another mind. Somebody's doing stuff in Twitch that confused me, then I realized it made sense. Try to preserve the color the best you can, or just not try to compress it too much until the end, that sort of thing. Or trying to compress it too much at all. You can upload a big file to YouTube. But yeah, okay. Well, I don't want to get too many details, but just try to have try to. I'd say this. Okay, I'd say one of the biggest offenders of this, even though his videos tend to be great, is Angry Joe, especially his older stuff. Boy, he just does not care with volume balancing. He'll just be talking like this, and then I'm not going to shout to be nice to you. And they're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just like, oh my God, you got to turn it down again. So a little volume balancing can go a long way for that. Yeah, I'd say Angry Joe is one that's, I think his videos are great, but yeah, I will criticize his volume balancing. And I do not blame him for skipping that, because that part can be kind of miserable. Okay, I should keep going. Okay. What do you know now that you wish you knew when you started? From technical stuff. I wish I knew in Deus Ex that if you shoot them with the dart, they really do go unconscious and don't just blow up. I made an assumption on that. I was completely wrong. But for technical stuff, I don't know. I guess maybe I would have saved them more, try to get a better microphone sooner. But I don't know. There's sort of that in-between phase where you're not sure how far you want to take things, so it's not really worth the cost. I probably would have pushed for microphones sooner, I guess. But yeah, okay, this is real technical, but there's this glitch sort of that they never. It's in data version of Premiere, where it tries to access peak files that it generates for stuff, and sometimes it can set to do that in a loop over and over again, just delay opening the video forever if the audio is mucked with the video. That would have saved me a lot of time. That's one of the things. But that's a real specific technical thing that's not really worth knowing for most people. Russ, what are some of your favorite recently played video games? I have not played that much recently. That's actually something I sort of hope to change this month. I'm hoping Freeman's Mind buys me enough time, not just for other things, but just to be able to play something, because I kind of want to catch up on a few things. I guess the most recent one I played that I liked, Path of Exile. I played when they released the 3.0. I played that. It's pretty good. The new one, it's like, if you've never played it and you like action RPGs, then absolutely play it. But the expansion, it's sort of like a third new, fresh, and good stuff, a third kind of remix stuff that's still pretty good, and maybe a third they recycled a little too much. but it was pretty good. But yeah, I hope maybe next month I'll have a better answer for you. I think. Okay. Okay, I'm going big. Okay, I'll try to go through quicker. Okay, when the movie will release, I have a plan to do localization in my language. I know it's premature, but will it be possible to have a raw audio without English voice? Yeah, I think that's doable. I could probably release that, unless there's some weird copyright issue with me doing that. I don't see a problem with that. Because again, I want everybody to see the movie. So if if people are going to prefer a dub copy and that it's going to reach people that would normally never see it because it's in English, then yeah, I can. Although I hope to support as many subtitles as I can. I mean, that's how I prefer to watch foreign films where I don't know the language, is just see the subtitles underneath. But let's see. Oh, okay. He's always been curious about this line from Freeman's mind. Oh yeah, this reminds me back in high school where we had a driver's ed. Yeah, this is another one that's based on real events. This reminds me back in high school when we had a driver's ed class and the gym teacher was asking us which is more dangerous, crashing a motorcycle at 60 miles an hour into a haystack or crashing a motorcycle at 60 miles an hour into a concrete divider. He got mad, started yelling at the class, and no one answered. Yeah. Yeah, so it is based on a real life experience because the teacher was like, he was asking, yeah, which is gonna be worse, crash to a haystack or concrete divider, and the class just isn't saying anything, and it's just like, come on, like like it's just like like he's getting pissed because surely the class can answer that question. His expectations were not through the roof, but he's figuring, okay, you can answer this. Come on, hello? He's just trying to... Yeah, well, I mean, it's like... I think he was just kind of getting pissed nobody was participating. And the class is just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like... No, I thought that was funny because, no, I totally got the gym teacher's perspective. Like, how dumb do you have to be to not be able to answer that question? I mean, it's... Okay, this one's repeated. Yeah, if you want to see a picture of me at the... Yeah, if they're worried about the privacy of Magda, I can crop a photo of me and put it up somewhere if you want. I can put that on the website or something. Hey Ross, I was wondering if Magda is willing to show up and introduce herself now as your wife. Again, that's up to her. Okay, I should mention, she's all right with me mentioning this. She has like a diagnosed anxiety disorder, so she can have a lot of worries about things. So the last thing I want to do is put kind of pressure on her in situations where she, might make her real uncomfortable. So if she wants to appear, she can, but if she doesn't, I'm certainly not going to pressure her to that. Okay, what hardware software do you currently use to make your videos? Okay, I'll have to run through this fast. Software I use Premiere, Audition. For Game Dungeon with recording, it varies depending on the game. For DOS games, I'll just record direct from DOSBox. For other stuff, I can sometimes use Shadowplay from NVIDIA. Other times, Fraps, DxTory. Rarely for DxTory. See, some games it's weird. Sometimes the recording cooperates with some things or not. Usually, the nuclear option is Bandicam on RGB mode. That one's very inefficient, but it tends to get almost everything. In fact, in Black Mirror, I tried DxTory, and it was giving me bugs, like those scrolling screens. I might show this when I do a follow-up episode. It was just glitching out, and Bandicam managed to get it. However, even with Bandicam, it ended up not really mattering, but there'd be like fade outs and fade ins in between each screen. It wouldn't record that. I have no idea why. So probably the same reason I couldn't get anti-aliasing working, which bugged me. But okay, other stuff. Let's see, for encoding, I use Handbrake. Upload that. Let's see, I usually just encode the audio with Razor Lame. It's just a front end for Lame. Let's see, for microphone. Okay, this has actually changed recently. I'm using a different mic for this stuff, but recently, okay, this was a lot, but I figure I hope that this lasts me 10 years or longer. I recently did upgrade my microphone because when I was recording and editing, when I make sounds, sometimes it just sounds harsh on my ears. And even now, I feel like I need to improve upon it a little more. I've heard it's probably because of the acoustics in my room, but I got to figure out a better way to kind of soften it. Because sometimes it sounds like I'm just shouting at everybody. I hate that. I mean, unless I'm meaning to. If I mean to shout at people, sure. But otherwise, it's just, I really want to kind of make my voice less harsh without, taking away the energy. So it's an ongoing thing. But the mic I'm using now, again, it was not cheap, but I figure if I'm going to spend more on anything, it should be this. Shure SM7B. And the last episode of Freeman's Mind was the first video to use that, I think. So everything, well, a couple years of videos before that, it's an AKG D88S microphone for ones where I'm not appearing in front of the camera. Let's see. Oh yeah, somebody's mentioning the anti-aliasing. Okay, that just detects any bare pixels and blends it. Well, there's two problems with that for Black Mirror. One, that's a 2D game, so you're going to be blurring the whole screen and everything else look fine. You don't want to blur the backdrops. And two, I couldn't get that to work either. I mean, it's DirectX 7, so all these SM8 plugins aren't going to work. And it was freaking ignoring FXAA from like native FXAA from an NVIDIA card. I don't know why it's not working. I've never seen this. So no, and plus for that kind of anti-aliasing, you really want real anti-aliasing, where the shader-based stuff, that's just better for edges, where this one, that would fix the face. I mean, yeah, I was joking a bit, showing it that much sharper, but it really would look better. But okay, yeah. Okay, so that basically covers the audio stuff. And there's nothing special about my hardware specs, just basic computer system with the SSD. How did the... Man, I gotta go through these faster. Okay. How did the marriage go, and do you think it's going to affect your videos? I think it will have absolutely no bearing on my... Well, we haven't had a honeymoon, so whenever that happens, yeah, that'll put the videos on hold, but we're just happy we got it done. But I think it'll have no bearing on the videos, except I'll keep my ring on when I appear. Because, we were already kind of living together anyway. So the marriage went well. However, it almost really didn't. It got quite suspenseful because it was like 15 minutes before the wedding was due to start. Everybody's there except nobody from my side had shown up yet. There were complications from that. They did just in time, but man, they were really, which, I mean, geez, they flew here from USA to come to the wedding. I was thinking they were really making me concerned about that. But the wedding went surprisingly well. And it's funny because it was sort of a mix of very formal, like the Billy Rearing was like very formal, and the guy doing the procession, he came across with almost like an imperial feel to him. Yeah, I was joking with one of my friends, this almost feels like something out of the Imperium. However, they had this awkwardness where there was somebody playing music like, traditional wedding music, and they were kind of they were a little bit off on some of the notes. And there was some other awkwardness going on. Okay, I'm pretty sure I took an oath that was not grammatically correct, not completely correct grammatically, because it was being there was a sworn translator translating it from Polish into English, so it's okay. The intention was made. Well, my parents are late because they were giving a ride to some of my other. I had two of my friends show up, one with his wife, and he was giving a ride to one of them, and they got the wrong location, and even though we gave them the address and everything, when you go to Google Maps, if you're not paying attention, it sort of steers you to a different town hall, and it was just. It worked out, so that's all that mattered, and the reception was fine. So I was a little. My only complaint about the reception is I was pretty hungry by the time I got to it, and while the food was fantastic, the portions were a little stingy, but that's okay. Yeah, now I get to stay in the country. To me, that's the big thing about being married. Because my attitude towards marriage isn't any different than before we got married. I was pretty committed and long term, but now they can't throw me out of the country. Which is better than Edward Snowden. Yeah, I recently learned that is he has to keep getting his stay permit renewed, I think, in Russia. So I'm a step ahead of him. Okay, when creating episodes for Freeman's Mind, how much of the game do you plan out ahead of time? As in Freeman's dialogue? Well, I always try to go through, like, kind of practice through the segment and look for a good jumping off area and see what happens through that chunk of the level. I usually don't, it depends, but I usually don't do that more than once or twice just to get an idea. And then I just go through. Like, there might be certain spots I want to pause at, or it's something I know I want to happen. Otherwise, it's just how it plays out. Sometimes I have to redo that a whole lot, though, if there's something specific I'm looking for. Or if I screw up, like, it's almost like rehearsing, really, for a play. Because, once I start, there are certain points I can jump off with the editing, but then there's others I can't. And so if I make a big mistake, that's it. I got to start over, unless I can do some clever editing in between. So that can be kind of draining when redoing it like 10 times trying to get that last section, whereas you did everything else right, but that section you're messing up. So for what I'm gonna say, that I'd say it's less than 10% for what I know is gonna happen, and the rest I'm just kind of figuring out as I go. Maybe it gets up to 20% sometimes. It's mostly me figuring it out after I have the footage and adding it in editing. Okay. Did you edit the train car map in Freeman's Mind and have a scripted event on the shelf for when you killed the Vortigaunt? How long did this take you when you made it? I did not. I certainly feel capable of doing that, but as many bugs as I've run into on Source, that who knows how much time that saved me. I asked around for some volunteers who knew about Source. I came across a couple. It was two people who worked on that. They're in the credits. One person did the scripting sequence, and I forgot his name. I'm sure I could figure it out quickly, but just off the top of my head, I forget. He'll probably come back for something later, because I know with the I'm not using HDR on the videos because it sort of bugs me. I find it's nice a minority of the time, and it's sort of annoying the majority of the time. So I'm just using Bloom. And right now, with the coast levels, at least, like, those are broken on the official Half-Life 2 if you just use Bloom. It'll just go to full bright lighting. So I'll probably bring him in again to fix that. But who knows? There may be other little things I want to modify. But yeah, it's in the credits there. Who did the work on that? Have you played the puzzle game Accursed? Yes, I have actually. I played through the shareware probably multiple times when I was younger. I played a little bit of the full version, I think, once it became abandonware, but I haven't gone through the whole thing. It's sort of like this marble steering puzzle game. I don't mean to sound pushy, but when are you going to get to fan requested games for Game Dungeon? Two things are going to happen. One, I need a better workflow. Like to just, again, hope so this can kind of go through more efficiently, that I feel comfortable kind of just diverting the time from that. And two, I still want to go through games that I've really been wanting to cover. That list is slowly getting smaller. Like it's, there's still a good, I don't know. I want to say it's maybe a dozen left that I like really want to cover. And then after that, I'll start branching out, but we'll see. I know Fallout's up there for fan request, but I need a better workflow. So, the efficiency, I guess. Ross, what was the game that got you really hooked on PC gaming? Was it Commander Keen? You know, I mean, I definitely enjoyed Commander Keen as a kid, but it's more like, what's the alternative? I mean, yeah, you know, when you're a kid, yeah, you can go play outside or something. It's not like I'm making these consumer decisions about like, oh, I'll just get this system or something because I didn't have any money. I mean, it's just like whatever whatever I have, that's what I get. So, I guess, okay, so it's like, in order to get you hooked on gaming, it's like it's a game, you know, it's a video game. How many kids, if you sit them in front of a video game, like any system, if they haven't really played video games before, or they're just gonna be like, I don't know. I think most kids are gonna be like, oh wow, this is cool. Look, that thing blew up or something. You know, it's like that. So it's only to get me hooked on PC gaming. It's like I have to be at a point in my life where I actually had the resources to consider jumping ship to something else. And, geez, I think, I'm trying to think. It's almost like once things really started becoming more cross-platform, I mean, there's always been, but I want to say like around the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 era, because there will be more exclusives, but things really start getting more cross-platform from the major publishers during that time. I think that might be what kind of kept you on PC, but I don't know. Deus Ex is one that really just kind of like I just hadn't seen anything like it. Kind of before or since. I mean, yeah, when I made the episode, people were saying, "Oh, Ross isn't familiar with Metal Gear Solid 2." I mean, I'm familiar with what they're talking about, but it's it doesn't hit the same levels for me. I mean, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 does do some interesting things, but it's not like it doesn't hit the same kind of or it's more vague with its relevance, I guess. So let's see. So yeah, maybe Deus Ex, but it's sort of a complicated question. Ross, your YouTube channel just passed 200,000 subscribers. I did not know that until I saw this question like a day or two ago. Out of these options, which one do you feel closest to? Okay, they have a... Okay, indifferent, joyful, surprised, or anxious, scared. Pleased, I guess. So I guess joyful would be the closest one. I mean, it's like, all right, that's good. I guess I'm pleased. See, I guess it's mostly because of the financial aspect of it. Because more viewers tends to mean probably more job security. If I just didn't have to worry about the financial aspect at all, it's like I don't really care. I mean, geez, I could have like 3,000 or no less, 3,000 viewers, and I mean, I want an audience for the videos, but as long as I make doing a good job on them and the people who do like them or watch them, then sure, it's except for the movie is going to be a different case. I am really going to try and get everybody I can to see that, but just for everything else, I mean, some of this stuff is I make niche videos. They have specific. They're not meant for everybody, so I'm not trying to get everybody. So but yeah, I'd rather just make a good video, and for the people who do like my stuff, they'll be pleased with it also. Okay, let's see. What do you feel about sci-fi horror games? Do you think they mix well, or any games that come up off the top of your head that you love? I have no mouth, and my screen is a perfect example of this, and I'd love to see you do a game dungeon on it. Yeah, I may eventually. It's just, that's a rough game. It's, they can be good, although I guess with sci-fi horror, I like one, again, this is just my personal taste. I like ones that aren't too depressing and really focus on, you know what? Ironically, again, this sounds weird. I'm not actually a horror fan. I'm a scary things fan. And there's a big overlap between those two. But, in terms of, because I actually did get to play Stasis. And that game, that is a horror game. That is absolutely a sci-fi horror game. It has a couple scary elements, but they are trying to horrify you. And, I don't mind some of that, but yeah, somebody's mentioning Dead Space. I like the original Dead Space. System Shock 2 is one of my absolute favorites. Although Dead Space, I feel like wasn't scary enough. The beginning was, but then they kind of toned it down. But the atmosphere was great. You could tell they were trying to make something good. So yeah, I don't like ones that get super depressing because it all mixes. For some people, it all mixes into just the general dark theme. I mean, I'm not against those kinds of games, but I'm not going to be jumping towards them. I mean, I'd say an exception to that is sort of Silent Hill, because I felt like it did other Silent Hill 2, because while it does have depressing things, it also goes into weird places too. But that's not really sci-fi so much. It's fantasy almost. But yeah, no, they can be good. I mean, shoot, especially for movies. Yeah, just I guess it still comes down to like how well it was pulled off. Again, I really was a big fan of System Shock 2. Oh boy. Have you received any arguments or counter arguments to the point you made about plutocracy and various other things from the Deus Ex episodes that you would like to discuss? I don't want to discuss it now because I'm already running late. I'm already running past where I wanted to be on this. And that's just a whole rabbit hole of things to get into. Some people agree with me. One guy insulted me flat out in emails. Let's see. Hey Ross, I know you're a soundtrack freak. What's a great game soundtrack for a metalhead? Quake 2. Quake 2 is great. But so also Quake 3. Painkiller has a lot of stuff in there. Of course, I've kind of used that a few too many times. Let's see, what are some other good ones? I haven't played it, but I know there's I think there's a Motorhead expansion for Victor Vran. Yeah, somebody's saying Descent 2. That has some metal in there. Let's see, what are some others? Geez, I'm drawing a blank here. I had one I was thinking about just a second ago. See again, this is okay. See, I haven't played Killing Floor 2, so I'll just have to mention that. See, somebody's saying Quake 1, but because that's Nine Inch Nails, but no, not really. 95% of Quake 1 soundtrack is just sort of droning ambient noise. So what if it's Nine Inch Nails? It's still droning ambient noise. But okay, somebody's saying the new Doom, because I've heard that mirrored across a bunch of things. In fact, I've heard some thoughts about that, but I haven't heard it yet because I still need to play the game and I want to play it. But yeah, somebody's saying Brutal Legend. That's very likely. Need for Speed 3 has some, mentioned in the chat. Need for Speed 3 has some. Somebody's mentioning Flat Out. Flat Out's more just kind of rock the way I remember it. Besides, I'm thinking, besides for a soundtrack, if he's asking about a soundtrack, he probably wants to hear stuff that's not just a compilation of existing artists, you know? So that it was like composed for the game. Oh, certainly parts of Slain. Slain has some real. Slain really gets the kind of. Okay, this shows my ignorance. I don't know that this. What kind of metal? What kind of heavy metal is it that kind of just has like an awesome fantasy cover and just it sounds like sounds like a Viking warrior could go to war in? What kind of metal is that? Is that power metal or is that like ballad metal or something? Slain definitely scratches that itch. Yeah, somebody's saying power metal or fantasy metal. Yeah, okay, sounds like power metal. All right, I should keep moving on. Okay, well, we're down to the 2-point question. So anyway, I'm just going to get pickier on these now since I'm running later than I want to. Okay, somebody's asking if I should reopen a Patreon, even though I'm using the donation thing. Jeez, I don't know. I've seen some of that, but it's like, I mean, okay, I guess the main reason to do Patreon is for people who just do not want to touch PayPal. But I don't know. I'm just worried it looks too much like money grab, like or double dipping or something. And plus, I'm not really I still don't have things for rewards. And the ratio is lower. I will get less money if I do it through Patreon. So, I don't know. I think as long as I'm doing okay, I'm not in a rush for that. And again, if people don't want to use PayPal, I completely understand. You know. Oh yeah, somebody's saying Command Red Alert, Command Conquer. That, yeah, Hell March is a great theme. But okay, let's see. Yeah, it's about the awards again. Okay, so yeah, I usually like to wait till see. Okay, here's a 5-point question, but it's down. Okay, do you enjoy music-based games like Guitar Hero, DDR? Not really. The gameplay is like a little too basic for me usually. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there could be a way I could get into it, but. Okay, this is a good question, or just comment. I made a website that formats the Dead Game News spreadsheet. Oh yeah, late announcement. I am getting a Dead Game News episode out this month. Like, and the story. I have to. I mean, I've neglected it for like a friggin' year now, but I'm still working on stuff in the long. I'm still taking kind of a long game approach to this sort of thing. The problem of killing games, but I'm absolutely making another one. There's multiple fronts to that. But okay, here's the question. He's formats the Dead Game News spreadsheet into a website. It's basically complete. But I want to know if you have anything to tell me about it. Okay, well, what I was going to say is part of my plan is to, if you want to get involved with more of that, send me an email. Part of my plan is I want to get this way better documented. That's part of the things I'm working on, and that will lead to making it easier for legal people to actually maybe bring forth an actual legal case against some of these companies in the relevant countries where there are laws to protect this against this sort of thing. It's just that it hasn't been enforced or nobody's made the case. Basically, part of this is there's two goals with this site that I eventually want to make. One is to just show everybody things that are being killed. Like, because sometimes it's real good stuff. So we kind of want to show just how extensive a problem this is. And the other is make it a cheat sheet for any lawyer or legal person that would want to get involved with this. Do some of the hard work for them, because that'll increase the odds of maybe being able to do something about this in the future. Yeah, see, somebody's quoting what I put there. Laws are meaningless unless they're enforced. So we gotta. I think that's the best hope on this sort of thing. But there's another front. Yeah, there's another sort of front that somebody else is working on also that I'm happy to lend my support to later. But I really want to be able to take action on this, and I'll get your guys' help when I'm ready for it. I mean, by your guys, I mean like my entire fan base. But if you want to help with like the archiving stuff for the dead game stuff, yeah, give me a shout, because I actually have 2 people already helping with that, but I'm sure more wouldn't hurt. So, okay, let me see. Again, I'm just sort of skipping questions now unless I... Oh, can we expect a follow-up episode with the answer if humanity is doomed or not before the end of next year? Probably. It depends how fast I get through the music. I opened up Pandora's box a little bit. I got so many music requests. It's kind of like the birthday video where part of me is like, hell yes, all these cool music recommendations. And part of me is like, oh God, when am I going to get through this? So, I hope so. Okay, somebody's talking about the fan request for Game Dungeon, a system where people can vote on it. Maybe that could get set up later, but for now, I'm not even ready for it. So, again, I got to keep the priorities. For now, that's sort of Freeman's Mind and definitely the movie. Well, somebody's asking how tall I am. I'm 6 feet. That one's easy. Okay. 4th question. Your last few videos have been lacking proper subtitles by Daniel Sangio. Is there a reason for this? Yes, it is. Don't blame Daniel. Blame me. And I've been actually handing that to Magda to let her deal with it. But again, don't blame her because she can have anxiety issues. So sometimes she's able to deal with that. Sometimes it's a little bit rougher for her. So you can that's entirely my fault. That's not Daniel's. If there's a way I can figure out for him to upload subtitles without having to have access to my entire channel, just because general paranoia, even though he's been nothing but help for the past few years, I would do it. So it's not Dan's fault at all. He tends to be totally on top of that. So hopefully I can exonerate him a little bit. All right, let's see. He's asking if the Black Mirror would be all right for 2 people to play together and try to solve together. Yeah, sure, like any other graphic adventure game. Yeah, the puzzles are pretty like standard adventure game. Most of them make sense. There's sort of some good puzzles, but there's a few things you're probably not going to figure out either. Like I needed hints for some parts. So the merchandise is not ready, and it probably won't be ready for Christmas. I'm sorry. Well, somebody's asking about that anti-aliasing chip that I heard about. Is it better than nothing? Maybe. I don't know. It's not real anti-aliasing, so it's kind of... But you know what? With us pushing towards 4K... Look, I have difficulty imagining me caring that much about anti-aliasing at 4K. I mean, I don't have a 4K setup. I doubt I will for a very long time, just because it takes so much power to drive that. But you know, we're anti-aliasing is kind of a way to, you know, if the resolution is high enough, you just don't even notice. And man, it's so I think we're kind of getting, we're making progress finally. Okay. Will you ever do a video with Lazy Game Reviews or Cinemassacre? I may have a cameo on Lazy Game Reviews coming up. And actually, one he's working on, I don't want to spoil it in case he has plans. Uh, I have definitely some unique, well, maybe not unique, but expert knowledge on expert user knowledge on that might help him out a lot. That I'm hoping I can, if he does decide to do a video on that topic, uh, appear on. As for Cinemassacre, I'd be thrilled to be on their stuff, but they're pretty big, and usually if they have somebody on, it's like where they are, and that's not really within the cards right now. But definitely a fan of their content. I enjoy a lot of what they put out. Their Polybius video is great, but I figure that they're in a different status level than I am. So plus they come across as pretty busy too. Okay, somebody's asking about me. This one's easy. Well, I don't want to get into all-time favorites of music stuff because what have you been listening to recently? At least recently, I've been listening to most recent thing I listened to because that's easy. Music by Suicidal Tendencies, and I was listening to the soundtrack to Overlord because that has some good parts. I don't like all the soundtrack, but I'm kind of going through it. Jeez, a lot of questions. Okay. PC specs, I'll put that on the website. And I have no idea how much it costs, but because I've always just bought parts and have been upgrading since forever. But it's usually like mid-range stuff. Well, actually, it's less than that now because half of my PC is fan donations at this point. My video card, my motherboard, and my CPU are all fan donations at this point. So, but I'll list the specs on the website when I update it. Jeez, a lot of questions. Okay. Some of these have been answered in the past, so because they're so low, skipping them. Okay, some of these are repeats. Ross, what's your opinion of Jim Sterling? And I don't know H-Bomber guy. Jim Sterling, I think he does service to the gaming community. I mean, his video, he tends to cover pretty relevant issues. In fact, if I ever have a focused outlet for the fan base on what to do to stop one I'm pretty sure will make a difference for the dead game thing, I'm going to reach out to everybody I can, include especially Jim Sterling, because I think he would care about that. Maybe kind of get him to cover that topic or just do a quick cameo or something, No, Jim Sterling he has a good, he can get a little more vulgar than I like, but he has a good style. Like I think I said before, he's someone who can own arrogance. I was having a little bit of that in the Black Mirror. Jim Sterling would fit right into that world. He has this kind of aristocratic vibe to him which I think is a lot of his appeal. So, it's he clearly crosses the uncanny valley of arrogance to the point where it's a treat. Okay. One guy with several questions. Let's see. Yeah, that was asked last time. Something I should still do. Okay, I still want to give like I still just want to check the last ones. I probably should. No, I don't. I haven't finished the Revenant mapping. Somebody's asking if Magda would appear in videos. Again, it's up to her. I was going to try to get her for the Human Revolution one because that's one of her favorite games, and I wanted her to give a line on it. But yeah, I can tell you what I was good. Well, no, I'll tell you what. I'll wait because maybe I can do it in the follow-up. She wasn't feeling up to it when I did that, though. Okay, we're down to 0 points. Okay, so I'll go to questions from the chat. Type 3 equal sign marks before your question, so it's easier for me to distinguish it from the other chat. Maybe I look at this on an IRC client. Maybe someday I'll figure out how to color code it so that it's real easy to distinguish. But I can tell people to type a certain tag. Have you ever given or received a Christmas break? No, but as a kid, I would give a present I gave to my dad pretty much multiple years was sort of a Christmas can, where it was just an old can that had been cleaned out, like a soup can or something, gone through the dishwasher, and you draw some art on a piece of paper and just wrap it around the can, like, all right, hey, here's a pencil holder. So, and he got a lot of those. So that's another good budget Christmas gift. Please give us your honest opinion on Linux. The best way to put this, like, I'll probably repeat this later if I ever make a relevant video. Have you ever seen the X-Files? That poster Mulder has in his office. It says, "I want to believe." That's kind of how I feel about Linux. I want it to be, the savior of, and just, free us from all the crap with Microsoft. I don't know if I do, but I'd really like it to. But it's not where it needs to be for me as someone who plays just like every game. But fingers crossed, I guess. That's how I feel. Are you planning on making a Wolfenstein 2 review gameplay? I still need to play New Order. I need to upgrade for that. I really want to. And the Old Blood. So. Would you have gotten along in Oddball's tank crew? Okay, I'm either forgetting a reference or I don't know it. Oh, Kelly's Heroes, of course. Oh, yeah, I think so. It needs some ear protection, but it's. I mean, the thing is, if you're a World War II, I think I really would rather be in a tank if I'm in World War II. That's a good place to be. If I'm in enemy territory, that's about as good as you're gonna get. So. I have not played the game Minions of Mirth. Okay, well, I managed to see it anyway. If you ever get a chance to redo, because he typed it wrong, if you ever get a chance to redo one of the Freeman's Mind episodes, which one would it be? I don't, probably one towards the beginning where it's a little less certain of what I was doing with the voice acting and everything. I don't know. My mantra with Freeman's Mind has always been just move forward. Just keep moving forward. If you made a mistake, oh well. Just keep going. When will the site revamp be by? Oh, geez. Okay, this is another important thing. Okay, for Freeman's Mind, here's what's going to happen. So if you see comments on this, you can reply to them. I am not promising anything will come out this month. However, I am going to try my absolute best that I will finish my portion of it before the sound effects. And when that happens, I will put it up on Twitter saying, okay, next Freeman's Mind editing is done except for sound effects. And I'll move on to the next one. Because I don't want to rush sound editors who help with this. And I can't promise it if it's depending on somebody else. So it's absolutely my intention to go for 2 this month. But okay, as for the site revamp, it's a similar situation. Somebody's helping me with that. We're months behind. It's kind of frustrating, but just gonna do what I can. So So yeah, it's possible there will Game Dungeon. I mean, not Game Dungeon. That Game News will come out this month. It's possible no Freeman's Mind episodes will come out this month. However, it's my absolute intention to have 2 edited except for like the final thing, because if I get the sound effects back and they're like good to go, I can have it out the same day. Well, prior to the YouTube bot mess, which so far I've been dodging for new stuff. But so you'll know that whenever I get those back, it's pretty much good to go. So that's the way to read it. So I'll have updates for that on Twitter because I figured that's what it's good for, just little stuff like that. Will you do some Flash game reviews before it's a dead format? Yeah, maybe. I mean, I've already done Last Stand. It doesn't really matter because there's going to be ways to play Flash games in the future. Okay, I've maybe not all of them, but the ones that you can't, they'll rely on being online. So that wasn't really Flash. It wasn't really Flash being the problem, if that's the case. Okay. I have heard about, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Robert Gilliams, the voice actor of Eli Vance passing. Has it affected you in any way? No, I mean, it's kind of a bummer, and it's showing that they're going to have to give, if they do continue episode 3, they're going to have to get voice actor replacements. But at this point, I think it's more likely we're going to see fans make episode 3 before Valve comes out with it. But let's see. Yes, I do know the game series Gothic. I've played 1, 2, and 3. I haven't played any of the others. Like I haven't played the expansions or Arcania, which I heard wasn't that great. I have played Risen though, which is sort of spiritual successor kind of. I might do an episode on Gothic at some point. What will you do with Freeman's Mind once you eventually get through episode 1 and 2? Stop? Make other videos? Unless fans have made basically a Black Mesa quality level version of episode 3, then I guess I have to keep going. So I have heard of Space Station 13. A million people have recommended it, just haven't gotten to it. Do you have a background in computer science or anything of the sort? I hear you reference APIs and software development concepts occasionally. It made me wonder. No, I do not. However, I do have a background in computer repair. So just by learning hardware and building systems, a certain amount kind of bleeds over. But no, I am not a programmer by any stretch of the imagination. And plus, by playing a lot of games, you can, and just troubleshooting a lot of games, you tend to learn more about just, higher level concepts. Or am I saying that right? Look, the more basic, the more broad concepts. Okay. In your last game, Dungeon, you said you prefer mystery stories that include supernatural elements. Can you further elaborate? Well, it could just be, it doesn't necessarily have to be supernatural. I mean, supernatural, because like at the end of Black, well, okay, I don't want to spoil things for people who skipped it, but if there's like a real big twist at the end where it just, this is more than just some guy planning things. It doesn't have to be supernatural. It could be kind of science fiction where this is just a totally bizarre society that you have, and it's just basically I like being surprised. And if the only surprise is who did it, then I mean, it can still be perfectly enjoyable, but I like wondering, And again, it doesn't have to have supernatural elements. I just like I like the potential to be there, so I'm not sure where this is going. Again, it doesn't have to have anything supernatural at all, But if it throws me off so much that I just don't know what's going on here, then that's great. That's what I like out of mysteries. And he says, "Did you know that Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened revolves around the Cthulhu mythos?" Well, as then I'd be fine with Sherlock Holmes again if I feel like, he's gonna stumble onto something bigger than Moriarty. An alien parasite has taken over your arm. Do you chop your arm off or wait to see if you become a supreme being? Uh, uh just try to kill it. Kill it. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess, like, how rapidly has it taken over? I figure it's like zombies where if you get it, like, immediately, maybe you have a chance. If that's not the case, then just go to a doctor, try to kill it with antibiotics or something. If he has at least halfway confidence that getting rid of your arm will take care of it, then yeah, get rid of it. No, I mean, Supreme Being, no way. get rid of it. I can live without my arm. I have not been in touch with Metal Dave from the Go to Hell video in a long time. So, have you played Black Mesa? I gave up once I got to the Tentacle Monster. That's the one. It felt like work, honestly. That's how skewed my brain is on this. It just felt like work. They've done a great job, but I can't play it. I mean, I could, but I'd rather just play almost any other game. Favorite orchestral soundtracks? Well, again, Symphony of the Night is wonderful, but I gotta catch up some more music. There's some that really stand out to me though. Let's see, I'm checking. Jeez, I'm just drawing a blank. I've heard. I'm sorry. I'm just drawing a blank right now. I'm hungry. Maybe some. Actually, this is one where JRPGs can actually do better because I've heard some of Xenogears. I remember thinking that was pretty good. They had some good stuff in there. But see, you gotta decide like what you in that weird area where you gotta decide like what's an orchestra or not. Again, I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry. Someday I'll have better answers for you because I eventually want to get that soundtrack system organized. Yeah, ongoing offer. If you have an idea how to organize soundtracks by mood or the theme or whatever, and you have an idea for what these moods and themes should be, like how you would do it, let me know. I don't even have to agree with it, but just that's kind of where I want to get my music organized. If I can crack that, then it opens up a lot of doors for me. Okay. I haven't played Medieval for PS1. I know a lot of people like that one. Do you believe the Polybius game might have been real? Probably not. Or if it was just a prototype that wasn't that great. I mean, it's so easy to just make stuff up and have rumors go around. And plus, how are you going to do that? I mean, the only way I can think of that might damage you is maybe if you got something in the CRT that kind of concentrated like a laser or something, you could have eye damage or something. But I don't know. Okay, this question I don't understand. What about the Easter egg episode when Freeman gets to be a new Elder God after killing one at the end of Half-Life? Well, that goes back to the whole format of Freeman's Mind. I kind of have to follow the game. Those Easter egg ones I've done, I'm really kind of testing the limits of what I can do with modifying it. So it's kind of like a train track you're just going forward on. I can kind of sway a little bit, but that's it. So no, I don't think there's going to be something like that. This is why I prefer to do original videos with characters and stuff, but it just takes more money. What is your opinion on cryptocurrency, and do you think it's viable replacement as a future global currency? I have no idea, man. I think Bitcoin is very unlikely to be a currency. I mean, like a normal established currency, just because it fluctuates too much and the value is just skyrocketed and probably will keep going that way. And a currency you kind of don't want to fluctuate. I think Bitcoin could turn into an investment medium. Again, I do not know. I do not pretend to know this stuff. I certainly think it could, but I have no idea. Would you make an LA Noire gameplay review video? Probably not, just because I lived in LA. I really didn't like it, and even though the game seems like it's quite good and competent, I just don't really want to spend a whole bunch of time on a game in LA, unless they manage to hit some theme I really like. Then it's fine. Like I saw the movie, what was it? I think it was Skyline. It was an alien invasion movie, and it's not the best ever, but I kind of liked it. I think that took place in LA. The people acted like they were from LA. So, if it's the right theme, I could like it, but just, I don't know. I tend to like to get even more exotic with my escapism. Would you consider playing Fallout New Vegas? I have played it. He says it's a favorite Fallout of all time. I liked it more than 3, but I didn't like it as much as 1. And this is from somebody. It just, even though it wasn't Bethesda, it kind of has that Bethesda feel where it starts off feeling amazing, but then just sort of feels a little more hollow to me as I go along with it. I don't know. It's just like the lack of, I don't know. There's some sort of lack of cohesion, I think. For me, I mean, obviously that is a lot of people's favorites. Okay. Yes, I have heard of The Last Door. I still need to play it. I mentioned it in my most anticipated games video. Is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines in the list of game dungeon videos to be done? That one's probably one that'll come about from request. I've played it. It's pretty good, but again, there's some games that just sort of call to me, What's your motto on making video or filmmaking? Just stay at it. I guess that's the answer. It's not always it's not like Freeman's Mind where it's always like move forward, but you stay at it and try to do a good job. What are your thoughts on early access games and investing in unfinished games? Have you ever invested in a game that's never left early access? Yes, I pre-ordered, if you want to call it that, before it was even on Steam, a copy of Project Zomboid. I'm still waiting for them to come to release. I think it's fine. However, I feel like they really need to distinguish something's in early access. So, I'm sure game developers might disagree with me. And, ultimately they're the ones that make the game, so their opinion should maybe count more. I almost want to say it shouldn't be on the front page if it's early access, But, or there should be a big label saying early access, not just little text. It's just like, you can't miss it kind of label. And maybe the icon could be like a bug, just a clip art kind of like for bug testing. Yeah, wouldn't that be a great logo for early access? Just a picture of a bug, like just like a little clip art cartoon beetle or something, Wouldn't that send the right message about early access? Uh, Are you going to skip any scenarios in Half-Life 2 that wouldn't fit Freeman's character that you made for him? The one that really bothers me is that dam jump, because it just doesn't seem like something he would do. So if anybody has ideas on how to get around the one after you destroy that helicopter before you get to Black Mesa East, it just the way I remember it, he just wouldn't do that. It's too crazy and it's not desperate enough. But I may have to and figure out how I'm going to explain that. But yeah, if you have ideas on it, that's the biggest one I'm thinking of. I have not played Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. I can look into it. Maybe it's on my game list, the games to check out. I don't know. Why is the format for titles so inconsistent for the recent game dungeons? Okay, well, I'll probably fix the consistency later. I've been noticing a lot of big people, like if they have a show, they'll list the name of the game first and then list the title of like their show, whatever. I'm thinking maybe I should do that, especially for longer titles, because then if you're looking, all you see is like Ross's Game Dungeon, then like a word or something, and maybe it'd be better to see the game and then see that it's me. I plan to go back and maybe adjust the other titles on YouTube like that. It's just a visibility thing, an experiment I'm doing. Hey, you're welcome to give your feedback on whether you think that's a good idea or not. I think Armed and Delirious was one that got before because that was like a longer title. I was thinking, well, geez, this should just have that up front because if the title of my show was like games period, then yeah, I wouldn't have to do that. But I still need to play Papers, Please. What do you think Valve is doing with Half-Life 3? I have no idea, and it doesn't keep me up at night. So, oh well, somebody's asking about the Zany Golf video about making EA video. I sort of covered that in the follow up instead, in the follow up episode. But yeah, boy, they're trying. They tried to steal. EA tried to steal the code. They tried to do the same thing they did in Madden to the developers. I think of Project Cars. There was an article about that like a month or a couple weeks ago, where they basically try to say, "Oh, hey, we'll publish your stuff maybe, and then just take the code, and then not pay them." Or, I forget the details, but I mean, I would get it straight if I made a video on it. But yeah, maybe I will make just the most concise video I can why EA is evil, and it's gonna have nothing to do with just sort of money grabbing things, like DLC or make or poor management or anything. Just the stuff that's just clearly like that. This is wrong. This is wrong by any ethical metric, and just make the video, have it like be a minute or two. There you go, and then people could share that if they wanted to. So yeah, maybe I will do that later, just to sort of be like a nice little closer for arguments. Would Eli actually need a voice for episode 3 considering the end of episode 2? Now that I think about it, no, you're right. He would not. Breen would. See, I was drawing a blank. I've only played episode 2 once. So that's kind of going to be a blessing for me. I think I've only played episode 1 once also. So. Will you do a game dungeon for the Diablo games at some point? I might. That's one of that might be another Minority Report though, for some of the things I'm gonna say. I have not played any of the Ace Attorney games. Russ, how did you predict the ending of life as Tumblr? I don't even see. This is the generation gap again. I don't use Tumblr, so I don't even know the. I don't even know the connections. So. Would you do a Fallout gameplay, either like Fallout 2, 3, or New Vegas? Fallout is one of the more requested games I've had. That one might be number one on the request list. So I'll probably get to that eventually. But again, there's other games I still want to cover. There's not. I haven't run out of. So I doubt I'm going to run out of weird games, but I haven't run out of odd games that I also really want to talk about. Okay. Okay. The time's really going on now. It's been over 2 hours. I'm getting real hungry. So, okay, I'm just going to browse through and answer the ones that I want to here. Yeah. This sort of, I guess this sucks for people watching this now because they get to watch me just stare in silence. A lot of these are, yeah, somebody's mentioned Lisa, the Painful RPG. I looked into that, but it looked kind of too dark for what I want. It just wasn't my kind of thing. Okay, I'm 8 minutes behind on the questions. Let's see. Well, somebody's saying, somebody's likes the videos and saying thanks, so thanks back. Thanks for watching them. I mean, Jesus, it's constantly. What do I think about platformers? I like them if they're done right, but I kind of need more than that. Like, I mean, again, Super Metroid is one of my all-time favorites. I also love a lot of the Castlevania ones, but those have wonderful atmosphere, both of those. And it's that combined with the gameplay that get me liking them. So if it's just sort of a platformer, it's kind of minimalist, it doesn't do much for me. It really it needs to have something else also. Yeah, again, sorry to skip as many questions as I have, but again, just submit them next time I announce this stuff, and the ones that get voted on the most will get them. Will get the answered likely. Well, I've answered this one, but I don't mind answering it again. What video game news sites do you go to for your gaming news? Again, since I'm on PC, I don't like hearing a bunch about games I can't play. So I go to PC Gamer, Rock Paper Shotgun, and PC Games N. And that gives a pretty good cross spectrum. Well, I've answered this one in another chat too. What are your thoughts on Gamergate? I basically half supported it. I definitely support the anti-corruption part and holding people to standards and, make sure there's not backroom deals and stuff. But the sort of, I don't know, cultural influence aspect of it, I don't really have a stance on that. So, but yeah, again, I'm fine with rooting out corruption wherever it is, games or otherwise. Yeah, what do you think about loot boxes and how they're basically getting shoehorned into modern games? It's not good, but it doesn't bother me significantly. I mean, I figure that's not going to make or break the game for me. Plus, I haven't run into these yet, so. Okay, I'm 4 minutes behind the questions. And again, I'm skipping a lot. Oh no, I'm almost caught up. Okay. Do you ever go on 4chan? No. I don't. It just seems too chaotic to me. And I'm not saying there couldn't be good information there, but it just. I really like being able to read articles and well composed information. You know, it doesn't mean it has to be by a professional journalist. It could just be somebody who has a blog who just really is composed out his argument and thoughts and everything. So, okay, that's it. Thanks for showing up to the video chat. More Freeman's Mind coming, very likely this month, but I will have done 95% of it this month for however many episodes are coming. And definitely Dead Game News and everything else. I'll do whatever I can. I'm really gonna try on emails. I'm really gonna try this month. Okay, that's it. See you later.